TV host Mike Rowe spends a lot of his time traveling the country, taking a stab at some of the dirtiest jobs around. But when he cleans himself up, he does a lot of great work. A short time ago, Mike sat down to talk with Tucker.
So, Mike Rowe, tell me about Mike Rowe Works, your foundation. What's the point of it?
Well, it kind of evolved like most good things in my life have by accident. It was 2008. Dirty Jobs was like the #1 show on cable, and the economy went upside down. And I wanted to try and do something to help the industries that had allowed my show to prosper. And for me, like the moment was every headline I saw in every national newspaper every day talked about record high unemployment. And everywhere I went on the show, I saw help wanted signs. And so it struck me that there was this other narrative going on in the country. And at the time, 2009, there were 2.3 million available jobs that nobody seemed to want. So I thought it would be a decent legacy for the show to focus on jobs that actually existed, that for whatever reason people weren't excited about pursuing, try and encourage training for those jobs and reward work ethic where and when I could find it with a scholarship program that dealt in work ethic scholarships. Interesting.
So what kind of jobs are these?
Well, it's the typical technical trade construction jobs. Right now, welding has got to be near the top of the list. The need for welders is shocking. We can't train them fast enough, and the success stories that come back as a result are almost mind-bending. HVAC is big, plumbing is big, electrical is big. So you've got maybe half a dozen traditional trades, but right now it's the traditional business of learning a trade combined with the traditional notion of freelancing and being a jobber. I think that's really for sale, and people don't quite realize it yet, but the traditional model is fading away, and the security blanket that we all grew up assuming was going to be there is fading away. So the real opportunities today, and the ones people never talk about, it's the path that a trade can lead you to vis-a-vis a small business and an entrepreneur.
So back to welding. Give us a sense of the economics of welding. If you're a 25-year-old American who learns how to weld, different kinds of welding, what can you expect to make? Do you have a pretty secure job path ahead of you?
Yeah, look, it's hard to be glib and just tell you. I mean, I can tell you what the statistics say, but the truth is, you know, there's a geographical component. You know, a welder in Newport News is going to do very different than a welder in San Diego, and a welder up in North Dakota right now basically write his or her own ticket. So it kind of depends where you're willing to go. But my foundation has trained kids to weld who have through maybe an 18-month certification program. I heard from one of them not long ago in North Dakota. His family's in Kansas, so he does the commuting thing, and it's not ideal and it's not forever, but they just paid off their house. They're having their second kid, and he's making 140 grand a year, working when he wants. Yeah, that kid should be on a poster. That guy, you know, in fact, there was an article in the Journal about a year and a half ago called the $100,000 welder, where they profiled people all over the place. And so much of the problem, Tucker, honestly, is just getting the facts out there. People don't know the opportunities exist. The next step is to encourage them as best we can, and then make them heroic, which, frankly, I think they already are.
Well, and that may be part of it. Maybe one of the barriers, really, is the people guiding them in schools at the secondary level are all liberal arts poetry majors, which is nothing wrong with that, but they don't see the dignity in welding, maybe. Is that part of the problem?
It is part of the problem. We're also spoiled in that wonderful way that any advanced society becomes when they flick the switch and the lights come on, and they don't pause for a minute to say, holy crap, I can't believe the lights came on again. It's amazing. You flush the toilet and it goes away. I mean, we're not properly gobsmacked by the reality of the civilization that we live in. Consequently, the people who are on the front lines of those jobs are by and large transparent. And, you know, we certainly saw that on Dirty Jobs. We paid inordinate attention to people who had been categorically ignored for a long time.
Yes.
And honestly, I mean, that's why that show worked. And it's also, in some degree, why I think the election turned out the way it did.
I agree with that.
When you pay attention to big chunks of people who typically are ignored, interesting things happen.
Yeah, in a non-patronizing, non-kind of Margaret Mead and Samoa way, but in kind of a straightforward, tell me what you do way, which you did, I thought, better than anyone. Thanks a lot for joining us. It's always a deeper conversation than you expect when you're talking about HVAC. Thank you.
Do me a favor. Invite me to your studio next time. Every time we talk, I'm in a bar. It's getting weird.
I know. Well, that may say more about your life than mine. Come to the legitimate
or
side,
better
man.
Yet, why don't you come out to a bar next time and we'll do this in person? And I'll get you some sweet iced tea. It's nice.
I've spent so many years in bars I couldn't handle it. But thank you. Thanks for doing that, man. That was great.
Good deal.